If I may, I'd like to lay out a little timeline for all of us to follow along with for entertainment purposes or whatever. So Kris Kardashian at the time cheats on her husband with her trainer, and that relationship didn't work out even though it blew up her whole family and her husband divorced her. So she needed to find her next meal ticket, and she thought that meal ticket was going to be Caitlyn Jenner, the Olympian. But when she got together with Caitlyn, even though Caitlyn was very hot, she was broke. So she had about $200 to her name. That is not going to do for Kris Jenner, who loves money. So she's going to make sure that everybody is working full throttle to make money for the family. And honey, she's trying everything. She even pops up in the later 90s with an infomercial selling these spiritual candles, talking about how spiritual she is. Now let's jump ahead a little bit. Keeping Up with the Kardashians first aired October 14th, 2007. Prior to this, Kris and Caitlyn Jenner had dealt with some financial instability. They weren't broke, but they didn't have consistent income. Before the show, Kris and Caitlyn were worried about paying their bills. Kris said so herself in her book. So this was a time that they were taking any measures necessary to build the foundation for what Kris's media empire would be. Now, previous to October 14th, 2007, the only reason people know Kim Kardashian is because of her friendship with Paris Hilton and the tape she made with Ray J. Norwood. And in 2008, Sonia Norwood, Brandy and Ray J's mother, sued Kim Kardashian and her siblings because they stole over $120,000 from her using her credit card. So were Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, and Rob Jr. running up a bill at the Gucci store? No. This was money that was being spent over the years between 2004 and 2007 at the Dash and Smooch stores that Kim Kardashian and her siblings and her mother owned. Sonia Norwood said that Kim Kardashian was working for her as a stylist and she took the credit card, and she says that Kim gave the credit card information to her siblings and probably her mother because her mom owned the Smooch store, which was a kids clothing store, and then the girls owned the Dash stores, and all of these payments were happening in the Smooch and the Dash stores. Now, why would they need to be making payments in their own stores on a stolen credit card from Ray J's mother? And it's interesting that Ray J's mom sued the kids but not Kris, when Kris's store was clearly involved. Now, this all got settled out of court around 2009, but still there's so many questions about what was going on here. So 2009, that gets settled, and that is the same year that Kris Jenner starts her very own Beverly Hills Bible study group. Now, we've talked about the ones that she attended in the 70s with celebrities and televangelists, and it's the beginning of a bunch of different cults and mega churches. So she learned from the best. Why not start a Bible study group in your house that you could eventually parlay into a church, which she did. Okay, so now Kris has the church. She has the congregation. She's going to need a shady pastor who will look the other way if she's doing something nefarious with the money coming in through the church. Who could she find except for Brad Johnson, who once was a cool guy preacher, but at this point in time was currently going through a scandal that left him down on his luck. He was ousted as the cool guy preacher, getting divorced from his wife just because he did a little nose candy and had some extramarital affairs and some other things. So now he's working at Starbucks and he is at the end of his rope emotionally, and he's desperate. Kris and Caitlyn Jenner come through his line at Starbucks. They seek him out and they say, let's get out of here. You could run our congregation. Next thing you know, they're putting Brad Johnson and his frosted tips on TV for the world to see to rehab that image. And nothing justifies a pastor like a pastor that's been on TV. So they put him on TV to officiate this very quick wedding that came out of nowhere. And they put him front and center in all of the wedding footage. There's even headlines later that he might officiate Kanye and Kim's wedding again to justify his presence. And around that same time, Kim Kardashian is saying, I tithe 10% of my income to the church. She doesn't really say it's the family church at first, but it eventually comes out that she tithes 10% of her income to her mother's church that has a shady pastor. Now, there are rumors about California Community Church and their congregation. People don't really know who attends this church because pretty much everyone in the family goes to some version of Church Home, Hillsong, Calvary, some celebrity-driven church. And maybe that's to recruit new people or to make sure that they're tied to other churches. But they are still in this network of churches doing something weird behind the scenes. And then a few years later, Kanye starts doing Sunday service, and then he starts the Donda Academy after that. And it's said to be around 2019 when Kris links up with Lou Taylor, but I have a feeling it was earlier than that because I'm pretty sure Brad knew Lou Taylor from Calvary Church. Calvary, I need to do a whole other series on because it's like black mold. It's like this church that is in all of these other little churches and cults and groups. But Calvary is a link to all of these people, and it links all of these churches that are Pentecostal or non-denominational that really thrive on bringing money in, and that money benefits only celebrities or Christian nationalism and not anyone in the area like who would need help from a church. So it's just very interesting how all of these dots tend to line up, isn't it? I just thought I would share that with everyone for no reason at all. And I am still working on my Kris Jenner series. It's going to be out soon. I've hit a little roadblock with some things. It's really interesting how there's little information on her family. So I'm having to do some extra research, but it's coming.